They took me out on Monday. It was Friday night. And on Monday morning they began my autopsy. And these 3 days being out of my body, seeing everything what was happening around, seeing myself, my body, seeing my birth, my parents, my wife, my child, my friends. I saw their thoughts. I saw what they were thinking, how their thought moved from one to another dimension. It was incredible experience. I was in darkness, in total darkness, and this darkness was pressing. This darkness existed not beyond, but existed within. What I want to say is that darkness was pressing, and I was in the middle of this sphere. And I didn't understand why and how this darkness existed. Where was I? And I understood I didn't have a body because I didn't feel it. But then I thought about light. I went through that little hall into light. But light was more powerful, more burning. I mean, you cannot compare it to anything. No word can explain it. And this light was so burning and going through flesh. But I didn't have a body. That was the most interesting part. And I was scared of that light. I thought, where is that hall to darkness? Go to shade to save myself from this light. What is that light? I don't know. I mean, it can be called light of God. It can be called light of life. But light is light and darkness is darkness. And then, as a psychiatrist and scientist, I didn't think about that. The only thing was that I was in light. We were not raised in godly way. You know, Soviet Union, we didn't go to church. We didn't have... There were people who went, but they were some kind of limited people. We thought. I mean, we thought they didn't know better, that there is no God. But during that 3 days being in morgue, in freezer, changed all my life. To begin the autopsy, they began to cut my chest. That was the first incision. Then I opened eyes. So when I opened eyes and he saw the pupils were convulsing, I'm becoming smaller, to say simply. He saw that it was reacting on light. It means it's life. And they put me back into hospital and began resuscitation. My lungs were collapsed for many time. I mean, long time. I was on respirator for 90 days. I mean, it's not that it happened fast, but the life came back. And what they discovered was that life was there during the autopsy, but it wasn't that all organs worked. I mean, it was hard work for 9 months being under the recovery. It didn't happen immediately. I mean, the life was there, but it doesn't mean that I could survive if not doctors who helped me to regenerate my health and organs. When I came to life back, a lot of different experiences happened, and I experienced a lot of rejection, a lot of fight with the reality of others, but nothing could change my mind. I knew my destination, I knew my way, and I decided to leave the country. And again, this lady from Longview, Texas, helped me to move to United States, and we came to Texas, and we continue to live in Texas still. Sometimes things are beyond our grasp, but I don't try to explain it all, because I know and I believe that God knows better, and I believe that I don't need to be explained. And why it was shown to me, and why it's me chosen to be, it wasn't questioned, and I don't care about that, honestly. I care that it was. I deeply believe in God of love, and God is love. And I believe that God created everything for betterness and for incredible future if we don't ruin it.
A very unusual, extraordinary case. And now we want to take it to a practical experiment. We said we'd show you how to start somebody's heart up again, start their breathing up again, and you do it with your bare hands. So immediately on the floor, we'll assume this is the floor, You see if she's all right. Hey, lady, did you faint? Maybe she's intoxicated. She'll talk to you. Or just bumped her head from a faint. But then you immediately look, feel, and listen to see if she's breathing, whether the chest is moving, nostrils moving, air exchange felt. If not, you immediately forget the heart. You go to the airway, and you unobstruct the airway by lifting the chin, pointing to the ceiling. This straightens out the windpipe. Then you close her nostrils so your air in her mouth will inflate her lungs. And you give her 2 quick breaths. And see if this should rise. And if it rises, it's an unobstructed airway. If it's still obstructed, you go back and give 2 more breaths and reach down and unobstruct the airway. If her heart is not breathing, and you determine that by not listening with your ear, but feeling on the carotid pulse on either side of the Adam's apples, you'll feel boom, 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 boom. If you do not feel that, after the 2 quick breaths, 2 inches above the xiphoid, the lower part of the breastbone, you implant the heel of one hand, supplement it with the heel of the other, and push your weight down on her. We know, and this is the important thing, this is a critical moment in life. If we can catch people before they die, before they drop dead, like you and I, we're alive, we have a choice, and give them the option of accepting Jesus Christ as a personal Savior, then they can't lose whether they live or die. That's with them forever. And when they die like this, we don't have to question where they went. And the preacher will be right. She went to heaven to be with God. But those that die on the street, where did they go? And is it the minister's fault or your fault and mine? Because we did not approach them with the gospel, which is a free gift to anyone that wants it. Now we have several things in common I'd like to talk to you about with these other cases. All of these hell-like cases had one thing in common. Surprise, they didn't know there was such a place. Will you find it a surprise? Will I find it a surprise? Or will we be prepared? Hell is nothing new. It's been there. It's just something discovered by some people that died and came back, and they want to tell you about it.
And I experienced what is love, what is faith, what is hope, and all these 3 as a wisdom of God.
The prayer of faith, the prayer of salvation is not some just little prayer. It's the only way to the Father, and that's the only way. Now, all of these people that in the New Age movement that believe that everybody's going to heaven, that you can worship anything, you worship a flea, you can squeeze a tree, you can worship a crystal, you can worship the star. I got news for them. They're not going unless they accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, because the Word says the only way to the Father is through the Son.
Don't go to hell. Please, I beg you, don't go to hell. It was not prepared for you.
If you're saved, you're saved today. If you accepted Jesus.
Do not put off for tomorrow anything, because you might die this very moment, this very night.
It's the best thing ever happened in my life.
You can feel Jesus' presence with you like today, in this place, in this time.
It's not God's will that people perish. I didn't know this. I didn't know the love of God. All I knew was hatred and violence and abuse. But there's one that cares, and His name is Jesus.
And who is the Son? He is the Word made flesh and came and dwelt amongst men. The Word is the way to the Father.
Make a choice. Not tomorrow, not tonight. Make a choice right now. Are you going to give your heart over to Jesus, or are you not?
If you want to have life hereafter, you better accept Jesus.